Stoughton Trailers has been around since 1961. We've always been a family-owned company, predominantly with manufacturing in southern Wisconsin. And our primary products support the transportation industry, including semi-trailers, container chassis, and grain trailers. In the late 90s, early 2000s, we were one of the largest manufacturers in North America of intermodal containers and chassis. And in about the early 2000s, China came in very aggressively. And they had a goal of not only dominating that market, but wiping everybody else out, and they did.
Stoughton Trailers CEO Bob Welling clearly remembers what it was like back in 2007 to lay off hundreds of workers and shut down their plant in Evansville, Wisconsin.
We couldn't get raw material to our plants for a cost equivalent to what they were bringing finished product into the ports of China and delivering into the U.S. at. So there was just no way to compete. And in a few short years, they not only wiped out our participation in those products, they wiped out everybody else's of any significance in North America. It's frustrating. It's this strong superpower on the other side of the world that isn't playing by the international trade rules and regulations. We live right in the communities, and when you have those layoffs, just seeing how it's significantly impacted them, and it's your friends, it's your neighbors, it's the people you've worked with for a number of decades, and being in a spot where you have to let them go, it's disappointing, and it makes you want to fight back.
And fight back they did. A coalition of U.S. companies, including Stoughton Trailers, filed a complaint with the U.S. International Trade Commission that Chinese competitors were selling trailer chassis in the United States for below the actual cost, a trade violation known as dumping. It was April 11, 2021, when Welling stood alone inside that idle Evansville plant and got some important news.
My phone started to vibrate. And at that time, I was waiting for an update from our team in Washington, D.C., our legal team that was waiting for the vote from the International Trade Commission on our anti-dumping countervailing duty case. And it was just a real quick, short sentence that we were successful on a unanimous vote with the ITC. And it was just such a overwhelming feeling of various emotions. Excitement, a little bit of disbelief, but also motivation, and start really planning and making changes to get that plant back up and going again.
The April ruling from the U.S. International Trade Commission became a seminal moment in an industry trend called reshoring, which is the return of work from overseas for reasons that can include trade wars and tariffs. In some cases, companies have moved work back after taking it overseas. In other cases, like Stoughton Trailers, they have restored production that had been lost to foreign competitors.
How are you? Thanks for having us.
Former U.S. Congressman Mike Gallagher, a Republican from Ellaway in northeast Wisconsin, served as chair of the House Select Committee on Competition with China. During a visit to the company back in August 2023, Gallagher praised Stoughton Trailers for standing up to Chinese competitors.
I think Stoughton's story is a great example of American grit and determination in the face of China's economic warfare.
I like to think that, and I take a lot of pride in that. And Look, a small family-run business in south central Wisconsin is able to go and take on a company dominated by the government of China that has the full force of the Chinese government, that we can take them on and win. I'm proud if people look at that as an example of what an American company can do.
They won the case. Tariffs were put in place as a result, and that helped them now add a new production line here, open up new facilities in other places like Waco. So it's an inspiring story, but they shouldn't be left on their own, left to file legal defenses. There should be a coherent government strategy so we have their back.
Are tariffs on Chinese goods a lasting solution or more of a short-term fix to address dumping specifically?
Yeah, I think they're a short-term solution designed to buy time where we can restructure our economic relationship with China. Tariffs can increase the cost of goods, but you got to weigh that against the cost of having an entire American company or an entire American industry disappear, because by the time Chinese goods arrive on American soil, they've been so heavily subsidized by the Chinese government that no American company can compete fairly with them. So that's always the risk reward, but they can be used when applied strategically and effectively. They can be useful.
Reshoring has been accompanied by other trends, such as factory automation and hiring people from other places due to local worker shortages.
The biggest shift is it's gone from really physical labor to much more automation, right? That physical labor has been replaced with a more mental labor on programming, on running robots, on setting up material control systems and automation, and a drive to do things easier, but also raise that quality level. We've had such fast growth, we've had to kind of go outside of the current market to keep up with that growth. That doesn't mean we're not hiring local workers. It's a mix of both. We've had up to 250 employees that we've transferred from Puerto Rico. So there was a lot of people from Puerto Rico with the hurricanes and some of the development in that country that were looking to come to the mainland and work.
25-year-old Alfredo Orengo is one of those workers.
When the hurricane came, our house, the roof came up and it damaged everything on the inside, the living room, the bedroom and everything. When I got here, I didn't know anything about trailers. I'm a production supervisor. I'm in charge of the front line, so you're gonna see how we build the entire wall. With this job, I bought my dad 2 brand new cars, improving their house and everything. I put a new roof on it. So yeah, it's been nice.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
Wallene says he can repeat Alfredo Orengo's success story for the next generation of workers coming from Wisconsin's technical college system.
We have a strong investment in our people, and it's not just training them on how to weld, but it's training them on lean manufacturing, Six Sigma, black belt, green belt certifications, and other areas. And the technical colleges have been very key in that.
Wallene agrees that China is still considered the factory of the world, but knows that his company's strong sense of American pride will keep manufacturing thriving in Wisconsin and elsewhere in the United States.
They are out to dominate. They are out to not just beat, but crush and eliminate the competition. If we can't build it ourselves, and something escalates, whether it's another COVID or something worse globally, where are we going to get everything, right? We don't have to be 100% self-sufficient as a country, but we need to be self-sufficient at a core level on many critical items. Because if we don't have that, that's a security threat to everybody that lives in the United States. So you see some of the American flags around the plant. You get a pride and a sense of we can compete with them. We can fight back and we can build it better than they can. And you get angry, you get protective, and you're ready for that fight.